A lot that happened overnight, but how will these cues impact our own markets? We have a research team to tell you just that. Vivek, Surbhi and Nigel are joining us today morning. Happy Friday to all of you guys. Vivek, let me come across to you. What is the market setup looking like today?
Well, good morning, and wish you the same. So, what we're actually looking at today is quite a muted handover as far as the global markets are concerned. So, U.S. markets actually have ended lower now for this fourth straight session, and post the market close yesterday, Apple has delivered quite a blowout set of results, so good numbers coming in there, like you mentioned. All of the US indices ending lower. Now, when you're talking about the European markets, there too you saw a bit of a cut after the fact that the ECB went ahead and delivered a 25 basis point rate hike over there as well. Crude oil prices yesterday stabilized, and this after a sharp two-day fall that you saw, and Brent futures now trading closer to the $72.5 a barrel mark. But coming closer home, the Indian markets have been extremely resilient. Indian markets yesterday ended with gains, turned positive for 2023, and in fact, above the 18,200 level is where the Nifty is perched at currently. So very strong sentiment as far as our own markets are concerned. Now, what is it that will drive markets today? Quite a lot of news flow. Along with that, the results reaction of names like Hero Motor, TVS Motor, as well as United Breweries. Also watch out for some key results in the session today. Britannia, Bharat Forge, Marico top among them. Asian markets, following the week handover, are trading soft. SGX Nifty 2 is indicating a muted start for our own markets.
Okay, muted start, but we'll see whether that continues or not. Thank you so much for that, Vivek. Surbhi is joining us now. A lot of earnings to track. Surbhi is here with the list of stocks to watch out for in today's trading session. Surbhi?
Hi, good morning. Thanks for that. So I'm tracking quite a few earnings today. The first one is Hero Motor. A good set of numbers there. It was a beat on all fronts. The revenue was up 12%. The EBITDA was up 22%. The operating margins came in at 13% versus a poll of 12%. Tata Power, decent set of numbers. The revenue was up 4%, EBITDA was up 3%, and EBITDA margins were maintained at 15.5%. Blue Star, a very strong set of numbers. The revenue was up 16%, EBITDA was up 25%, EBITDA margins have crossed the 6.5% mark, came in at 6.8%, and board announced a bonus of 1:1. United Breweries, a weak set of numbers. The revenue was up 3%. It saw a gross margin contraction of 1,000 basis points. The EBITDA was down 79%, and margins have come in at just 3% versus a poll of 9%. And lastly, Aptus Value Housing, the gross NPA has come in at 78 crores. The gross NPA ratio is at 1.15% versus 1.4% in the previous quarter, and the net NPA ratio is at 0.86%.
Okay, all right. People are buying iPhones, but not alcohol. So United Breweries, really weak set of numbers. But let me go across to Nigel, who's joining with all the cues from the F&O space. Hey, Nigel.
Well, morning, Sonal. Just looking at yesterday's intraday chart, everything that had to go right went right for the bulls. The call writers, they got stumped on the wrong side. And HDFC came out with a set of numbers. And that's why, because it was weekly expiry, we saw that big spurt in the final 1 hour of trade. The intraday chart will tell you the picture. The Nifty Bank, well, that's the one that did add a substantial amount of open interest build-up. So it appears there is long addition on that particular index. What did the FIs do? Well, they added some long positions, 1,000 contracts or thereabouts, but they covered some shorts. So they covered close to around 3,000 short contracts. In the previous session, they added close to around 8,000 shorts, and they covered close to around 35% of what they had in the previous session. The options data as well is looking quite encouraging. 18,200, 18,150 put between them. It added close to around 75 lakh shares odd. But put writing, I think, is getting a little bit too easy from a bullish perspective. On the call side, there was a fair bit of addition, added on the 18,200 call with the premium at roughly around 130 rupees. Because the kind of put writing we've seen, the PCR from sub 1, it's moved to around 1.34 odd. Now, that's towards the upper end of the band. The Nifty Bank as well, we did see some bit of writing at the 43,500 put. The premium out there between 200 to around 300 rupees odd. The Nifty, well, important level you're looking at is the recent supports. That's 18,020 to around 18,050. We bounced off those marks earlier this week as well. But resistance we're seeing at around 18,250 to around 18,300. Now, the SGX Nifty suggesting a bit of a negative tick. But, getting into a weekend, I think if you want to book some profits, take some money off the table, it wouldn't hurt going by the kind of cues that we had. Back to you.
Okay, all right. Take that point. Nigel, Surbhi and Vivek, thank you so much for joining us and prepping us up for this trading day ahead. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll talk about Hero Motocorp that reported a strong set of fourth quarter numbers. We'll get you all the analysis.